your nails done, jewelry, and also the other costs that come to it, like your posing suits, the cost of traveling to the shows. You have to pay Brandon Ray his money because you can't do the sport without a coach. He has to get his cut, and there's so much involved in it. I mean, one thing I wish there was more benefits for y'all competitors, especially as you are IFB Pro. I wish like things like, okay, if I do a show and then hey, I get a little something out of it, it helps me out. And that's why some of the ladies after the shows, and this is truthfully, they do a lot of photo sessions because it's a way to make money in between.
Yep, exactly. I agree.
Yeah. We have here this is we have a Brittany Russ, and she's giving muscles, smile, and a heart emoji. Thank you. People put words. I don't do emojis like that. And also, this is from Upshar. He says, extremely competitive. He knows you well, doesn't he?
Yes.
And also, this is from my man KL. He says, Tiffany, your physique is like a musical playing sympathy.
Thank
Sympathy. Yeah. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. So as you know, what's when you're in the gym, what's the thing that you like the most? The things that what, I love doing this. This is really I enjoy this part of my training. And the things that, damn, I don't want to do this. Damn, I don't feel like it.
Cardio. Cardio is the thing that I'm like, when is this ending? Like that's the thing. The only thing that gets me through is the music. And I'm the person that's like, okay, an hour, 60 minutes, okay, 10 minutes times 6. Like I'm trying to break it down to get through it. But seeing that pump at the end is when I'm actually, lifting and using machines, and the posing at the end is what gets me. That's my motivation. Because I know how I walk in the gym, and then when I go in the posing room and I see myself in the mirror and I take my video, I'm like, all right, that's me. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah. And what's your favorite workout when you work it out?
Definitely back day. Back day, because I literally work my back every day. Even if it's not a full workout, I touch my back every single day. And I just need to put that type of commitment, if I ever plan on getting back on stage, into my legs. I need to have that same commitment, with my legs, as I need to touch them every day, because I know my back I'm not worried about, but my legs are my weak point. So yeah, my back, that's my favorite back day, my exercises.
All right. We got a shot for your girl, Brittany. She says, I know that's right, sis. Confident in all season. Blood sisters. Thank you, Jeff. And also, this is from a man, Lawrence Perkins. Shout out to Lawrence. It says, good morning, Miss Tiffany, George, and everyone on the chat. Happy Saturday. I appreciate it, brother. It's yours. Good afternoon. You must be, you got to remember that. And yeah, because there's a lot of work to this. People got to understand. And said again, the people from the outside, like myself, who's an outsider, who's a fan of the sport, when we are in the audience, what we see on the stage is something that we don't, what took time and work to do. And it's a process. Like I've talked to ladies say, this is not like, because you've been a runner, it's not a race, it's a marathon. It's about taking the time to train, to work out, the diet, the regiment, and you being in the military, the regiment really helps. And like I said again, you don't, some things you didn't eat, but remember in the military, eat now, it takes later.
That's right.
So yeah, but there's so much work to this. People need to understand this, that there's so much involved to grow and develop overall as a competitor.
I'm sorry.
There's no question. Just me
Oh.
talking. So, what you thinks? What your thoughts as you grow and develop as a competitor?
The main thing to me is getting a routine down. Get you a routine, a set routine, and try not to stray from that routine when you can help it. Even if you're traveling or whatever is going on, you have to try to stay in that routine and try to make everything as simple as possible. So, like me, Brandon allows me a lot. People think I don't eat. That's non-competitors think I don't eat, when I'm like, no, I eat like 6 times a day. Sometimes more. So my thing is simplicity. I'm like, hey, he's like, what do you want on your diet? I tell him, he structures it to that, because he knows you don't have to add this. I don't need all that extra stuff. I tell people, I say, my meal prep may be boring to you, but it works for me because it keeps me on track. So trying to get a routine and simplicity, that's what works for me. That's the easiest thing that works for me, especially if you're trying to get into this sport. Mm-hmm. And then at it as a one-time thing, like I did when I initially started, not knowing that I was going to come back to it. You try to incorporate it into your lifestyle, and that makes it a lot easier. So people oh, you're on a diet, this is my meal plan. This is what I eat every day. So even and when I'm not preparing to get on stage, I still incorporate prepping my meals. It's easier. It's less expensive. Like, and it just makes sense. And then it's easier when I do get ready. When I am in prep, it's easier because I'm already eating these things every day.
Mhm. Especially you got two boys at the house. One's a teenager, one's a baby. I know they don't want to eat what mommy's eating. Just
That's the thing they do. So you'd be surprised. Yes, they do. So a lot of times I make extra or I set meals to the side for them so that they can eat the same thing.
yeah. Well, that's pretty special because you know what? I know I've talked to some ladies say because the diet for a bodybuilder is really tough because high protein, low carbs. You can't eat the things that most everybody eats. I know little kids be like wanting chicken nuggets and mac and cheese,
Right.
but then broccoli and rice or quinoa and chicken and turkey and all that. It's that's the important part. People can forget about bodybuilder is the clean diet. I mean, one lady told me how when she first started eating, she was eating like gelatos, but it's not important to the diet. It's the process of it. Yeah, I mean, people, it's you have to find the foods that work that helps you develop, and food is important to overall development. It's one thing if you're going to eat burgers and fries every day. It's another thing when you eat something clean. Oh, we got a shout here from my man David Bryan from Female Bodybuilding Forum. Shout out says Tiffany is so stunning. She's been underrated by the judges. Thank
They,
you, brother. Shout out to him. He's from Florida. He's there, and he does content. If you follow him, check out his channel. Also, shot from a man Lawrence. He says, "Well said. Routine definitely helps your schedule." Yeah, because there's a lot to the sport that people need to understand. Because one thing I said again, it's not about the process, it's about trusting the process. It's about understanding the process, then fully trusting it.
right.
So, as as a as a competitor in sport, have you seen how the sport has evolved over time? As you know, you were a physique competitor, you were figure, and now going to physique. Did you watch the Olympia last month?
I did. I did.
So, what's your thoughts? Like I said, I'm a fan of Andrea. I think she deserves it. I mean, I'm also like Angela Yo. Is there anybody that you are a fan of as a
Uh,
competitor?
Andrea, Ashley, because me and Ashley actually got our pro card at the same show. Ashley Jones. She was figure.
Oh,
So we actually competed in Miami together. She was figure at the time. We got our pro cards. We've kept in contact, via social media because, of course, we're in two different locations. But Ashley, um, Latoria, of course, she retired. So Latoria Watts, I was a huge fan of her when I was figure. Um, and physique wise, a lot of my peers actually, I'm fans of them. Whitney Armstrong, who's here also in Charlotte. I love Whitney. We're really, really close. We used to go to the same gym before I moved further out in Charlotte. But Whitney, I'm praying that she comes back. She actually won the Atlantic Coastal in 2022, I think, to qualify for the Olympia. She didn't compete at all this year. So I'm hoping that she comes back next year to compete.
yeah, because I followed her before. I know one point she had a stint in women's bodybuilding for a minute, and then she went back to physique.
Right.
She competed 2022. Also, like Coach mentioned, it's going on tomorrow, and Natalia Correjo. Oh gosh, she's doing this. She's been on my live stream before.
Okay.
I respect her as a competitor, but I don't like what she's doing. I mean, understand you've been. I,
I because she's of course we know she's already qualified, but she
mhm.
did the show. What was that? 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
and
the clash.
I feel a lot of competitors do that. They block out other competitors, and they know, hey, if I show up, I know I've won this show. So, and I know Marika, I think, is competing. Heather is competing. Me and Heather actually
Right.
competed in Daytona. So there are a lot of it's going to be a good competition, but we kind of already know the outcome. That's what I don't like. Give somebody else a chance. That's my thing. But that's the competitive nature. So
Thank you.
yeah, that's the
Thank
competitive.
you. I know I want people I follow the female bodybuilding channel. And
Yeah,
it's their job. I understand.
I
But the
get that.
fact is, this is where you are taking opportunity for somebody who like Heather, I follow Heather Rigby. We've been talking back and forth. She took second at Daytona and also took second at the Clash.
Yes.
Someone told me I interviewed Nicole Butler, no, Burton. She told me that Clash was a one-time thing, not going to happen next year.
Hmm.
Um, Marika's been on my channel a couple of times. Been a fan of hers. Beautiful lady. I
Yeah.
mean, I interviewed her a while back when she just announced she's going to do the Atlantic Coast. I hope she
Mhm.
does well. You know, I understand you want to be competitive. I understand, but everybody's gonna say, yeah, it's right. But then there's those people that understand that, hey, this is my opportunity. I work train just as hard as you do, and you're going to come here and the judge is going to be more biased towards you, even if you're slightly off. It's like, and you just watched, just had the pay per view with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. I kind of just funny. I was my man. Mike, you don't have to make it anymore. I just want him to beat his heart out and just eat his lungs, eat his children. His praises to Allah. That's the Mike I miss. Like slow Mike. He's not the same anymore. But I
Right.
did follow one lady I follow, Amanda Serrano, and she lost. I feel like she should have won that fight. But the fighter she fight, Katie Holmes, sorry, Katie Taylor, she likes to pull a book from the Evander Holyfield, use headbutting.
Right.
But
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Saw
that's
that.
kind of dirty. But yeah, I can understand that you worked as hard as you can. You want to get opportunity.
Right.
Here we got here from my man. Shout out to my man Lawrence Perky says, because they watch what mothers do, especially most times we started to very young when kids starts eating healthy and deep education by healthy. Yeah, that's good. I mean, also he says this. He says, shout out to Natalia, but my man has another say. It says, so Natalia is selfish. Yeah, I'll say that she's selfish. She's not even 30. She's still young.
She's extremely competitive. That's the
Yeah.
only way I can put it. I get it. She's extremely competitive, but they have I've seen the men's physique competitors. Some of them do the same thing. They'll do a show back to back to back. And I'm like, you just won the last show. But when they took out the criteria, the points, and they made it
Points.
the Olympia where you have to win first, you know, the
It's difficult.
if you can block somebody out and the least amount of people that show up, that guarantees, my chances for winning. So, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, but they're wondering why, because I know at the beginning of this year, a lot of women didn't compete in the women's physique division. I've seen like one or two shows where they canceled the show or they canceled that division because enough competitors weren't showing up. But I'm like, you have people who, want to qualify at the end of this year, but then when you have somebody like Natalia that jumps in, it's like, and I've worked to compete all the whole year. I get in a show, she shows up, then she shows up to the next show, and then the next show. At some point you have to recover. Your body has to recover. So at the beginning of the year, that's why a lot of women don't compete. And they're like, oh,
Hmm.
showing up to the shows. And I'm like, they're not showing up because they're trying to recover from the end of the year. From you know,
Oh, hello. Yeah, just don't mind my nephew yelling
oh,
at me. He's watching a game. I tried to tell him to yell, but yeah, I understand that because Marika won the St. Louis, and they dropped that division from that show because the same guy who promoted that show, he was saying there was not enough women for Omaha. They're going to drop physique from Omaha, and then they had women's bodybuilding because one year they had two competitors. They decided to drop women's bodybuilding. I think physique's kind of same snake eye as
yeah.
women's bodybuilding. We saw Sid Gillen announce that they may not have women's physique at the Triple O Dynasty.
Oh, wow. See, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's tough, because you got to think about it. It takes your ladies time, just like any competitor. Like, I think it's easier for divisions like I would call them the TNA divisions, and that's wellness and bikini. A friend of mine, she switched over to that division.
okay.
It, one good example, someone like Jessica Reyes Padilla. She does pretty much about the same thing because she just did she did a show in Texas. She
Mhm.
did a show in I think she did Hurricane Pro just barely a couple weeks after the Olympia. And I can understand that you want to work and train, get the opportunity, but just somebody coming in, especially imagine if Sarah came in there,
Right.
and
Oh, I would just go home.
yeah, just say, you know what, take off my bathing suit and just keep that crop hopper and just walk. So we have here